Hello everyone, I am back. Jemai McKinney once again checking in with you guys. And today I'm going to tell you why I am picking the Los Angeles Lakers to beat the Miami Heat in the 2020 NBA Finals in 6 games. Before I break down the reasons as to why the Lakers are going to win this championship, I won't be shocked if Miami makes this a very, very tough series. And ultimately, if Anthony Davis, has an off series, or LeBron James for whatever reason is failing to close out these games for whatever reason, he doesn't play well, I won't be shocked if the Miami Heat pull off the upset. This series to me is going to be a little bit more competitive than people are willing to realize, in my opinion. First of all, Eric Spoelstra is a very good head coach, and he has a coaching advantage over Frank Vogel. Not to mention Eric Spoelstra. He was the guy that coached LeBron James en route to LeBron James going to 4 straight NBA Finals back in Miami when he joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and when LeBron James won 2 NBA titles. Eric Spoelstra is great at making adjustments. We saw Eric Spoelstra implement the zone defense versus the Boston Celtics, and that was very effective during that series. This is the same Miami Heat team that put a wall around Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Miami Heat have a coach that maybe can expose LeBron James and the Lakers to a certain degree, and I feel that they have the coaching advantage in this series. Also, keep in mind, Bam Adebayo, he's a very, very good defender. And Anthony Davis, I think Anthony Davis is one of the 5 to 7 best players in the game of basketball as we speak today. But if you think for 1 second that Bam Adebayo is going to let Anthony Davis absolutely just take his lunch, I think you're fully mistaken. Bam Adebayo, he's athletic, he's strong, he's got, some size to him, he's long, he's lengthy. And Bam Adebayo, he's not going to go down without a fight. Bam Adebayo can get physical down low on defense with Anthony Davis. And if there's one knock on Anthony Davis's game, it's that sometimes he can be a little bit finesse. Sometimes if you get physical with Anthony Davis, if the officials are swallowing their whistles during these NBA Finals, Anthony Davis could get into some trouble. If the Lakers are going to win this championship, I think that Anthony Davis is going to need to hit some, mid-range jump shots and knock down a couple, of jumpers, like I said. I don't think Anthony Davis is just going to dominate down low in the paint 24/7 if Bam Adebayo is healthy and patrolling that paint. Also, Jimmy Butler is nowhere near LeBron James' level, okay? He's just not, okay? I love Jimmy Butler. He's done some great things. And in fact, the Minnesota Timberwolves, last time they were in the playoffs, Jimmy Butler was on their team. The last time the Chicago Bulls were a relevant franchise, Jimmy Butler was one of the best players on that team. It's funny. The Philadelphia 76ers, they get bounced in the first round this year without Jimmy Butler. The year before that, when they had Jimmy Butler, guess what? They were one Kawhi Leonard shot away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals. So Jimmy Butler is great. He's a very good player. I don't expect Jimmy Butler to win this matchup when guarding LeBron James and going head-to-head with LeBron James. However, if there's one player that can make LeBron James work, not only on offense because of his great defense, but also he can make LeBron James work on defense potentially if LeBron James were to guard Jimmy Butler, just because Jimmy Butler, he's a very good offensive player as well as a very good defensive player as well. So, look, Jimmy Butler, he's not going to make life easy for LeBron James. I'm not saying for 1 second that he's going to stop LeBron James. The only person that can stop LeBron James probably is LeBron James himself, but I don't think that LeBron James is just going to get an easy 25 to 30 points each night. If LeBron James is dropping 30 to 35 points on Jimmy Butler's head, it's going to be a well-earned 30 to 35 points on Jimmy Butler's head, in my opinion, okay? The Miami Heat, they got a lot of size, they got some length, and one thing about Miami is not only can they defend the perimeter, not only can they defend the paint, they can hit perimeter shots, You look at Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro, Gordon Dragic, and those boys on the Miami Heat. They can knock down some perimeter shots. And the Los Angeles Lakers at times during these playoffs have struggled to defend on the perimeter. They're pretty good around the basket. You know, they have some very good rim protectors. They're one of the more bigger teams in the NBA as far as their size goes down low on defense when I'm talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. But I gotta say, man, if Miami can hit perimeter shots, and really it's a make or miss league, obviously. You know, I'm kind of stating the obvious, you know, the NBA is a make or miss league, but listen, man, if the Heat can hit enough three-pointers and knock down their perimeter shots, this is going to be a series that potentially could go 6, maybe 7 games. I'm going with 6 games just because the Lakers' star power just is a little bit too much for the Miami Heat. I believe the Lakers' experience will be a little bit too much for the Miami Heat as well, even though the Miami Heat do have players like Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder on their team, 2 good veteran players. You know, Miami, they're youthful, they're fun to watch, they've had a great run. When I look at LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that's the best duo, arguably, in the NBA since maybe Shaq and Kobe. You know, Durant and Steph Curry definitely have an argument to challenge them, but it's a great duo. And usually, when you assemble 2 of the top 10 players in basketball, I think that Anthony Davis is arguably top 5 right now. He could be top 5 definitely, with undisputedly after these NBA Finals if he were to win NBA Finals MVP. I'm just a little bit lower on Anthony Davis than most people out there, but Anthony Davis is great. Okay, at worst, you have 2 top 10 players on your team. That duo 8 to 9 times out of 10 usually wins the NBA title, especially over an inexperienced team like Miami. The Lakers, they've had a great playoff run. And I think that LeBron James smells blood. And I think that LeBron James recognizes that, hey, man, listen, if I lose this NBA Finals, not only will it be my 7th NBA Finals loss, Michael Jordan is going to have less NBA Finals wins than I have NBA Finals losses. That's bad for LeBron James' legacy. And LeBron James, we obviously know that he's right there with Kobe, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think that LeBron James, at worst, is a top 5 player of all time. I say that in no particular order. You look at guys like MJ, you look at LeBron, you look at Kobe, you look at Kareem, and you look at Magic. That's probably the top 5 in no particular order. I say LeBron is around 3rd or 4th all time right now. So listen, man, we all know that most people are favoring the Lakers to win this title, as they should favor the Lakers to win this title. LeBron, do your thing, or else it's going to be looking bad for your legacy. Not ultimately, you know, to a point where LeBron's going to get crucified and saying, oh, he's overrated, you know, he's no longer a champion. We know about LeBron James, NBA Finals MVPs. We know what he did to the Golden State Warriors, beating that 73-win Warriors team. We know what he did in Miami. But if LeBron wants to be better than Michael Jordan, and LeBron James has said in the past he believes that he's the GOAT. Listen, LeBron, right now you're not the GOAT. You have more work to do, okay? I've put this out to LeBron James. I've said, win 2 more NBA Finals, win 2 more titles, LeBron James, I will probably name you the greatest player of all time over Michael Jordan. I'm one of the biggest Michael Jordan advocators out there. But if LeBron James can win 2 more titles, it is going to be very hard for me to deny him of being the greatest basketball player of all time. So I think LeBron James recognizes what's at stake. Anthony Davis is going to do his thing, I believe. And listen, man, like I said, when you put those 2 great players together, players of the caliber of Anthony Davis and LeBron James, that team is probably just most likely going to win the title, okay? It is very imperative that Miami wins game number 1. It's not impossible for Miami to pull off the upset if they were to lose game number 1. But at worst, the Miami Heat need to have this series tied up at 1-1 after game number 2. If the Lakers go up 2-0 on this Miami Heat team, I think Miami at max gets 1 game. At max gets 1 game. And listen, man, I won't be shocked if Miami pulls off the upset just because it's Miami against the world, man. You know, a lot of people doubted Miami at the start of the season. I had Miami in the playoffs, but not for 1 second did I think this team was going to make the NBA Finals. So again, Miami, they're a very good team that's well coached. They got some very good players, but ultimately, I believe that the Lakers experience with guys like JaVale McGee, Danny Green, LeBron James, Dwight Howard being on that roster. A lot of good veteran players that have been there and done that in big games, specifically NBA Finals games. I believe the Lakers' experience and their star power will prevail them over the Miami Heat in the 2020 NBA Finals. I am going to pick the Los Angeles Lakers to beat the Miami Heat in 6 games during the 2020 NBA Finals, and I believe LeBron James will capture his 4th NBA Finals MVP. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.